Marisa the Medium, and welcome to this week's edition of What's in the Cards. So I will give weekly readings with all different sorts of cards for you on all things mystical, health, wellness, spiritual, and any messages that the universe, angel guides have from them to me, to you. And I wanted to thank those of you that tuned in last week and listened to or watched the relationship focus reading that we gave. And if you liked what you heard, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and comment on it, how it resonated with you. And if you don't want to miss any of these kinds of readings in the future, I'm going to ask you to do that thing you do, push like, subscribe, and you won't be missing any of these readings. It'll go right to your inbox every time. Thank you so much. With that, we will get started. So I was already told to use, you guys know I love to use my Affirmators deck. And I'm going to use the Affirmators family deck because they're telling me that this has to do with this coming week with our family. And as we approach the holidays, hence you'll see a little bit of the Halloween and autumnal harvest type of decor hanging out. We tend to gather more and hunker down with our families during this time. So it's only appropriate that that would be the case. We are going to shuffle up and deal and see what our very first card has to reveal for this week coming to you. Wow, they're having me pull two. Let's do it. We got a bonus card. So our first one says roots. And roots can often apply to family and how we can be affected exactly with that. So let's take a look at what that says. This says, roots, I remember where I came from, for better or for worse, and am grateful for the person that I've become, either because of or despite my upbringing. As I move through life, I keep growing and changing, but I can't marvel at the magnitude of my own journey without reflecting on where it all began. Isn't that the truth? You start out as a little acorn and you move into your full adulthood as a tree. And yes, for better or for worse, I'm getting the message that you do want to reflect back on that. Autumn and fall are really that time of going inward and self-reflection. So take an opportunity this week to reflect on where it is that you've come from, just how far you have come, and if you are proud of that, pat yourself on the back. Say, yeah, I did good. Maybe you were the first person in your family to go to college. Maybe you were the first person to do this or to do that. Celebrate yourself. If you come from a long line of people in a certain type of work or trade or even a gift, kind of like what I have. I've passed on some of my gift to my kids. It's a moment to reflect and be grateful for that. So that's this card here. And we have our bonus card that says reprieve, also from the same deck. And what that says is every family has a person who takes on more than their fair share of the collective burden. Does this sound like you? Have you been through a gauntlet of physical or emotional chores only to come out feeling like you have nothing left in the mental mop bucket? Consider this a permission slip to take a break. The world won't stop spinning if you take a minute for yourself, and your family won't fall apart if you act like a human instead of a superhero. Even Superman had a fortress of solitude. If he hadn't, we certainly wouldn't have found him crying on the bathroom floor. I can say I've been found crying on a bathroom floor or my kitchen floor more than once. So for you guys, this is just a moment to take a look back, look at where you've come, but also realize that maybe you've bitten off a little more than you could chew lately, and maybe perfectionism is part of your programming. Take a minute to really step back and appreciate all that you do, and know that if that one pile of laundry doesn't get folded, if the floor doesn't get swept, if you just didn't do that one other thing that was haunting you on the to-do list, let it go. You're human. And you might be superhuman sometimes, but love your humanity for what it is. So that's those two cards there. The next deck that I'm being told to use is this, my Raven's Prophecy deck. I forgot, honestly guys, how much I love this. And the colors, as you can see, they definitely work in, ooh, we got one flying out already. But we're not shuffled up and dealt yet, so we know that's not the case. Every week, this happens, guys. Every single week. We're almost there. But this reminds me of Halloween. I just can't. Okay, so we're going to go with that. We're going to do the Ace of Cups, which has to do with emotions. And we're going to do one more bonus card from this deck to go with it. So anytime that you get an ace of any card, any deck, any suit, is always signified of beginnings. And beginnings they often come after endings. So if you've just recently experienced either a loss, an ending, a closure, that could be a relationship, a friendship, it could be a situation with a family member, please know that what we're being told right now with this, the Ace of Cups, is that this is a new emotional beginning for you. And with a new emotional beginning, you really get to set the pace. You get to set the ground rules. And they're telling me what emotion this week, whether it's tied to family or giving yourself a break, what emotion do you really want to align, connect with, and possibly make your intention? So maybe that is your intention, giving yourself a little bit of a break. And that could be a whole new emotion for you. So take a minute, ponder on that, and we'll put this down with the next one, and we are going to pull one more from this deck. This is the back. I absolutely love it. Ooh, and we have the Three of Coins. And the Three of Coins often represents, or pentacles often represents, money. And there can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes, but we see that that is beginning to come to fruition. There's three blooms here. So for you, how this is going to relate into this other spread that we have going on is you're going to have a new emotion also regarding what it is that you have planted, and that you will feel prosperous coming from that. Might be a new emotion, so that new emotion might not feel like a set habit that you already have, and that's okay. It's new. But please know that there will be some abundance already beginning to come to fruition for you this week. So don't overlook it. Maybe it's a small little abundance, maybe it's a big one, maybe it's a check in the mail that you weren't expecting. But there is some work that is going to pay off for you this week. A little bonus for you from the earth, the angels, and everything just coming together to show you you've got this. It's okay. So we're going to go one more card before we close out this week's reading. And excuse me, because guess who dropped the cards? You gotta love it, guys. Like, this is real. And just so most of you know, I don't do outtakes. This is all filmed in one shot. So what you see is what you get. I really am a believer in authenticity. And that is exactly why you will not see me editing out, unless you really comment below and tell me you want to. Edit out when I drop the cards, when they fly out, do their own thing, do their own jam. That's just me being me. I have a case of the dropsies almost all the time. So what as above, so below. So we've got this deck, and this is my Mother Mary Oracle deck, another one of my favorite decks by ALANNA FAIRCHILD. Love her. I also use her digital app. She's amazing, absolutely amazing. So with that, we are going to pull one from this deck and see how this message that the Mother Mary has for us, tuning into what we already have with the family, Our Lady of Holy Fire. Look at that card. It's just stunning. She's mystical. Fire, if you think about what fire is, and it shows the fire, the sacred heart right here, fire is rebirth. So I find this absolutely comforting. And the angels are telling me that yes, this is supposed to bring you comfort. I think last week, the week before, we also had something fire. It's different this time. This is going to bring you a comfort. This new emotional journey that you're going to go on is going to bring you some prosperity, but it's also going to light a little bit of a fire in your heart. And who doesn't want to have that as we begin to go into the seasons with the holidays and some of this hustle and bustle? So take a minute for yourself and reflect on how maybe these cards are going to inspire you, be with you, cause you to be a little more thoughtful this week, and open yourself up to the abundance and the emotions that are coming your way this week. So that's it. That's this week's reading. What's in the cards for you? I ask you again, if you love this, please push like, subscribe, share with a friend, and from me to you, as always, be the light.